I'd have to say my favorite piece that I'm working on right now would be for my Digital Art 2 class, and it's a typography program, or it's a typography project, and we have to take different fonts and make some sort of advertisement for it. So at first I wanted to, use a really cool font because there's so many different ones out there. There's ones for graffiti and just pretty much any type of anything you can think of, there's a font for it. So at first I wanted to do something that was really out there. We went on, I think it was fonts.com, and we found all these really cool ones that looked like little ice cream cones and this and that. And then it was just a bit overwhelming, so I thought, let me try to use something a little bit more standard. And right now I'm really into the electronica movement, so I really like the artist deadmau5, and I was wondering what font they used to make their deadmau5 logo, to make their words. And then so I looked at it, and it was just Arial black in a condensed font. They just squished the words together. So from there I started working on this piece, and has a black background, and the words are in the traditional deadmau5 blue, and then it even has sans serif, because that's the type of font it is, right under it, almost like the album title, like they do as well. And I have the big deadmau5 head on there, and it's packaged within Microsoft, so I have the Microsoft Windows logo as the eyes. So partly because I'm really big into the electronica movement, and with the project I thought it was a lot of fun, and that's one of the favorite things I'm working on right now. Oh, there's so much. I'm very into Frida Kahlo. I love her mix of Mexican heritage and her American art, and really she kind of had like a bit of a tormented mind when she was making a lot of her pieces. Definitely into Warhol. I have to throw that name out there. I'm pretty much inspired by a little bit of everything. If it's visually interesting, if it's conceptually interesting, every movement. Also being an art history minor, we learn a lot about, every movement that there's been, or the movements that have sort of come about. Like right now I'm in a folk art class, and I think even though they have a naive art perspective about it, it's very interesting to see, the creations of the different eras or the different genres of how pieces have gone throughout time. So I really can't pinpoint a specific of what inspires me. It's just art in general, whether it's from music to painting to digital design, graphic design, pretty much everything that's out there. As far as my senior art show goes, it'll be April 13th. That's the date as of right now. And what you should expect as a viewer or as a participant in it, it's going to be mostly digital design. I am a graphic design major, so I figured, of course, go along with the theme there. I'm doing a lot of stuff based off these symbols that I make. And a lot of times, if someone's talking to me and I have a pen or a pencil in my hand, subconsciously I'll just draw on anything that's around me. And I honestly don't even realize I'm doodling until, 15 seconds later, and I'm like, what is this thing that I've created? So just thinking about that and me being very interested in the subconscious and in just the intenseness of the human mind. I went back through a lot of different notebook pages and things that I had, and just looked at all these different little symbols that I made. So I collected all of them, and at first I was going to do a bit that had to do with that and conceptualism and all this other stuff, but I think it got a little bit muddled as I was going along. So what I wanted to do was really, really focus on the symbols. So what I have, as far as pieces go, I have a frog piece where there's a symbol that I have that for some odd reason, every time I look at it, I see a frog, and I don't think anybody else would see it, but that's the first thing I think of. So from taking that symbol, I took the general part of the symbol and then added some things to make it look more frog-like. Then I have just the symbol that it was based off sort of screened over and overlaid in the background, so the opacity is down a little bit. And that goes along with a lot of the other pieces that I have. There's a jellyfish, there's a scarab beetle, and then I'm going to do some bigger paintings of just the symbols themselves. And I'm still sort of playing around with it, but those are the general ideas. I'm really, really excited for it. Like I said, April 13th is coming up pretty soon. So those are the general pieces, and I'm hoping they'll all come together mostly for graphic design though.